The next few lessons are going to be introducing 7th chords, that's major 7th and dominant 7th chords, and also turning the major scale into a dominant 7th scale. So let's explain what we mean by a major 7 and a dominant 7th first of all. So the major 7 symbol looks like this. And if we take a C chord, the 7th note is B in the C major scale. So that's 1 fret below the root note. So the high, if we take the octave root here, C, 1 fret below it will be an open B, and that is the 7th. It's called a, sounds nice and jazzy, it's called a major 7th because it's the 7th tone of the major scale. Now that's not to be confused with a C7, which is written just as a C with a 7 after it. Now that is actually a dominant 7th, but nobody calls it dominant, it's just taken for granted that's what we mean. And for that, the 7th note is always 2 frets below the root note. So if we take C, now to play C7, you need 2 notes below, so that's B and then B flat here. So now you probably know this shape as a C7. So there's a huge difference between a major 7 and a dominant 7. So C major 7 and C7. So if you look back to when we talked about the major scale and you look at the chord that's formed from the root, so let's take C major as an example. So you've got that would be the 1 chord. You count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in C major would take you to G, and it's the 5 that's often turned into a dominant 7. So if in the case of C, we'd have a G, and you turn it into G7, and that has a strong leaning back towards the 1. You can hear what is the 7th in G. Remember, although G, we're talking C major, you can get confusing this. We're talking C major. So, but in G, the dominant 7th is always 2 frets below. So 1, 2, we've got an F there. So F is actually the 4th tone of the C major scale, and it what's called resolves down to E, the 3rd. That's a very strong pull. It's almost like a magnet. So as an introduction, we'll leave it there, and next time we'll carry on with some more major 7s and dominant 7s. See you then.